What's up, dudes? Max here, back to another Dragon Ball FighterZ breakdown, today focusing on another character which is sort of a deviation of a character we've seen in the game at first launch, which was BUU, and I really want to focus a bit on Kid BUU because he does alter quite a bit in terms of some of the other characters that are in the game that have other variances. We literally just talked about Gohan and how he's changing between his adult and teen version, and this is another pretty good example of that, so let's go ahead and find out the differences. Again, this was footage taken from a special event at Bandai Namco, where they gave us a special opportunity to cover some of the game, but there was a very limited time constraint, so my apologies. There's not a ton of footage, and I didn't get a ton of time, but just enough to understand what the hell Kid BUU is about. Now, the biggest question you have is that if Kid BUU is going to be as similar to Fat BUU that we've seen earlier in the videos, in the beta, everything like that. And luckily, my answer to that is no. He's actually quite a bit different. While having a few similarities, he is fundamentally a different character outside of just his stature. He's no longer a fat character. He has transformed into a smaller stature character, so he's more difficult to hit. But it's kind of hard to say whether or not this one dishes out more or less damage. It's a little weird because the damage values of the game are kind of all over the place right now, and they said they're tweaking them, so leave that as it be. I think that Kid BUU does pretty good damage. Now let's talk about his specials. The Mystic Ball attack is what everyone was expecting. This move is performed either in the air or on the ground, and it's essentially your go-to combo ender. The interesting thing about the EX version, or the one that uses meat, or the heavy version, is the fact that it does set up for a combo after. You're left in a state where you're kind of juggling with the opponent, and you can hit buttons to extend the combo even further. So, like other characters like Cell that use their EX special moves that lead to actual more combos, this is kind of similar with Kid BUU, which I do like and is going to lead to some pretty creative and crazy looking stuff, especially converting from the air to the ground. The Mystic Arm Swing is a command grab that grabs characters out of the sky. I wasn't entirely sure if this grabs blocking opponents, but I don't think it does. I believe this is a physical hit grab, meaning that you have to actually hit them with it, but luckily BUU has some fairly interesting attacks. His sweep attack puts his foot through the ground just like in the show as he knocks you up into the sky, and you can do this a couple of times and go straight into this attack, bringing them back down to the ground. Once again, the EX version puts them into a slightly more juggleable state, but I wasn't entirely sure if you could get a combo after this. However, with many other characters' assists that lead to a lot of different opportunities for combos that we haven't seen yet, you definitely can throw out an assist after this and then follow up with a pursuit attack and get a full aerial combo. It's pretty damn cool looking as you rip them from the sky, and reminds me a lot of what Piccolo does with his stretchy arm attacks as well. That's about it for Kid BUU's physical special moves. However, his Ki Blast attacks have 3 different specials, and the first one is the Candy Beam. This thing is pretty fast, but I do not believe it was any different than a regular projectile. This is also good for combo enders. It looks really cool. It practically looks like a super, and it ends with Kid BUU essentially just eating the hell out of you. However, I wasn't sure if this had a special property to it because this was in training mode when I did try this, whether or not it absorbs enemy life and gives it to you or meter or anything like that. It just looks like a very cinematic finishing projectile attack that you want to use at the end of combos. Now, the move that's going to be really good, and possibly one of Kid BUU's best moves, is called the Arm Ball. He shoots out a projectile that is thrown from his arm and hovers around the opponent for quite some time, hitting them multiple times. This thing just seems incredibly good. Not only does it hold your opponent in space, it holds them an opportunity for you to get in, get damage, follow up with like a launcher or a smash attack, tag in your other character, anything like that. This is extremely good for tag team fighting games, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the things that makes Kid BUU probably a very good character. Kid BUU also has an aerial Kamehameha. You can only perform this in the air, which is standard fare for Kamehameha specials in the game. And he only has 2 supers to complement this special move tool set. The first one is the Human Extinction attack, which sends a ton of projectiles to the top of the screen as they come cascading down, hitting the opponent. The cool thing is, on the way up, these projectiles can also hit the opponent, as well as on the way down. So if you have an opportunity to DHC into this, or set something up from another character, this thing can be extremely good because the damage on the way up catches the opponent, and if it carries them down, it does even more. So we're talking about very effective level 1s. This might be a very good one, and Kid BUU does seem to have a couple of tools that might make him, once again, a pretty good character. Kid BUU's other level 1 is called the Pearl Flash, and he essentially pounds his chest and dives towards the opponent in a very weird and awkward angle. this is essentially the only other level 1 he's going to have to convert from the air, because you can do it from the ground or in the air. I'm kind of curious if this thing has any other properties in terms of like invincibility, or if you can just plow through other attacks, but we'll have to wait and do some testing to see how good Pearl Flash is, because the damage alone does not seem amazing. Of course, his level 3 is the Planet Burst, and this one is your usual fare cinematic huge-ass level 3. Does pretty good damage. The best part is that, once again, it's an aerial super as well as a grounded one, so if you want to convert for big damage, you can get that from an air combo, any conversion from the ground. It's one of the best aspects of some level 3s in this game, because many characters' level 3s are either performed just the air or the ground, and Kid BUU gets both. One of the other big notable things I wanted to mention about this character is that, similar to BUU, BUU had a huge amount of stretching attacks where he can sort of lunge his heavy punch forward and convert damage from that, and it did a lot of damage because it was a heavy. Kid BUU has an insane normal, which is either his crouching medium or his standing medium. We showed the crouching medium, how he sort of steps through the ground. This seems to cover a pretty damn crazy amount of space. But his standing medium in the air or on the ground is ridiculous. It takes the character from a distance and pulls him forward, which is awesome to say the least. Kid BUU definitely is going to have some kind of insane stuff with this, because once he pulls himself over, he can go for cross-ups. Almost anything of that he chooses, go for a pursuit attack to keep them neutral. Like, this is going to be a really good tool for this character. I do see a lot of potential with Kid BUU, and I feel like I like him a little bit more than regular BUU as of right now, or Fat BUU, so I want to play more with him. I like the fact that he's incredibly evil, and a lot of his animations have some great flourishes and stuff, so once again, I like the really bad guys in a lot of this game so far, and I just kind of want to see more of that. So in the future, I hope we just get more kind of characters to complement this. That's all I was able to get for Kid BUU right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, I'm going to leave you guys with a couple of combos I was able to figure out with the character. Nothing too crazy. We didn't have that much time. But stay tuned. We're going to have more Dragon Ball FighterZ breakdowns, and let me know which character you'd like to see next. As always, guys, thank you a ton for watching. Appreciate the thumbs up. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.